Hey guys, how's it going? So, like I said, I'm going to recap the entire semester of my summer 2019 in college, from the very start to the very ending. Um, this title is slightly misleading. I'm going to start it off when I had my semester break from the spring semester and then go from there day by day. All right, so I ended my statistics final exam on April 18, 2019, on Thursday at 3 p.m. After that, I went to my church. It's called CCO, which stands for Catholic Christian Outreach. And I met up with a few people. One of them, her name was Juliana, and such. I took a nice selfie there. I was of me wearing a gray hoodie. Yeah, and then afterwards, yeah, so we did that. Oh, at the time I also wanted to start making videos on YouTube. Like I had my channel at that time. I already had it in like December of 2017, but I thought if I wanted to record things, I would need a camera holder. So I purchased that. Cost like I think about $100 and such. But anyways, then I headed to the to a church event that night. And yeah, we did some prayers, just a regular church service. When I got home, my parents said, why don't you just get rid of that camera holder? We'll get you a cheaper one. And that's exactly what they did. Um, on the 19th to the 29th, my parents said they had to go on a business trip. So they gave me the house for 10 whole days. And I thought, hey, this is bloody awesome. I rule, I'm in my own zone. I get to rule my own house. I'm just a, pretty naive, crazy 19-year-old. So they left. It was a sunny day on the 19th. They said, hey, Brent, do you want to come with us by any chance? And I'm like, nope. And I gladly watched them pack their bags. Oh, that sounded worse in my head than it was supposed to be. No, I was smiling at them. I waved goodbye to them. They said goodbye to me. And yeah, and then went by myself. So I had the whole house to myself. After they left, I downloaded Plants vs. Zombies, the full version of it, and I played the whole thing. And then I was thinking, hey, why don't I just record all the mini games on my phone? So I recorded all of them. So, and I posted them like a few months ago. Yeah, that was just me playing the video game, the games. Like I played all 20 of them. You can see them on my channel. They're there. I don't want to recap every single detail because it's pretty self-explanatory. I will say I was surprised though how the chomper in Bobsled Bonanza was able to eat an entire bobsled. That was just mind-blowing to me. That night, I joined a church event. It was at my friend Rudy's house, and we watched a movie. Um, I fell asleep in the middle of it, but I joined their house around, I think it was 7 p.m. Yeah, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. And then I went back home, and by then it was like 11:30, and then I finished the last three Plants vs. Zombies videos, and by the time I finished it was 12:50. And then I was like I had work the next day, but like I was feeling really like irresponsible, and I ended up playing the whole entire night. um it this was April 20th now. And then I remember at 5:30, I like the sun started to rise and I woke up. No, I didn't. What do you mean I woke up? I got out of, hey, I don't feel tired in the least bit. I'm like, hey guys, it's me. I managed to stay up awake all night without sleeping. I don't feel tired right now. Sun's just starting to rise. Figured I'd take a little break and catch up on the things I've been missing. I'll see you guys around. And those are the exact words they said. I'll even post the separate video of this. So yeah, that's what I did. And then I took a walk. And then for breakfast, I had McDonald's. I had McDonald's. I had a hash brown and a smoothie. And then I went to work at Kumon. I almost fell asleep, but it was by the grace of God that I did not. Um, the 20th, yeah, it was a sunny day. And then for lunch, I had sushi. I was surprised though. I was the only person in this small sushi bar. It was called Sashimi Sushi. I think they closed down now, but I can't exactly be sure. But yeah, so then I traveled around. My friend Brandon told me that church was having another event that night at an altar and such. So I went back. It was the same place that I had it on Thursday the 18th. So then that's where I went. And at one point I accidentally took out my phone, and then my friend Simba was like, Brent, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, sorry. Yeah. It was a great event though. Yeah. And then I got back home. I played some Wii Sports Resorts that night. It was about 10 p.m. And then I played it until 2 a.m. and then I fell asleep. When I woke up on the 21st, on Sunday, April 21st, it was 1 p.m. And by that time, it was like, yeah, it was a sunny day, but it's like I felt lazy as heck. And I was supposed to go to an event at 6 p.m. that day. Yeah, and then I'll just tell you what happened. So I played some Wii Sports Resort, the wakeboarding thing, and basketball. I ended up beating the champion Tommy. Um, I was just lazing around doing things. I was in a very uncreative stage, so even though it was boring, I just did it. That I was like, okay, I haven't eaten breakfast or lunch. I gotta go out and get myself some food. So for dinner, I went to White Spot. I took the train. I took the train there and transited, and then I got like calamari and clam chowder. And then for the first time in White Spot, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go get a dessert. This was the very first time I ordered dessert in my lifetime at White Spot. And then I had a apple pie with vanilla bean ice cream, and it was good. The total with tax came to 27.27. I gave about a 250 tip. I didn't know you were supposed to give 12-15% tips at the time. So then I got up and I was like, hey, let's just go to Rudy's house and join this event. And then like it turned out that it was they were watching a movie and such. And it's like, just it was good. Yeah. So then afterwards, I watched it. They seemed happy having me around, and then I headed on home. That night, I was feeling okay. So like, I started to feel a little bit of depression because like there was this girl in my linear algebra class. I'm not going to use her real name so as to avoid any embarrassments. Um, I'll call her Ashley. Me and her had a bit of a falling out. Um, and then I was like feeling kind of like, yeah, kind of down and such. So then to make myself forget about that, I played a game of Commando 2. It was a flash game, and I played it. I played it all the way from levels 1 to 12, which took 2.5 hours. The final boss was really hard. My reaction time was quite slow. So, and then he started shooting fireballs in all those directions, and I got hit quite a lot. But because I had sufficient ammo, I eventually was able to beat him with 5 lives left when I started off from 10. I beat it all in one sitting, and then I unlocked the last two metal weapons called the Metal Driller and Key Jerk Terminator, which are OP, like boss weapons. And I played around with it, dominating newbies from level 1 after getting these weapons after beating level 12. And yeah, it was fun. I did that for a short while. Then it was April 22nd, Monday, and I was still awake this time, bear in mind. About 5 a.m., I left the house. I texted this girl named Kelly, and then, we were talking back and forth. And then she was like, so what are you into these days? And it's like hobbies, music and such. And I know it comes across douchey to me, but I didn't reply to her. It wasn't because like I was like trying to be rude or anything, or I didn't like her. She was very nice. It was just I was very not in that state where I was not in that state where it's like I had really bad anxiety, whereas like I was fearing what the next conversation would be. So I was thinking in my head, it was like going wrong. It's like, okay, so I say, oh, I'm doing good. I like this kind of music. I like Owl City music. I like the Beatles. And then I was worried that I would screw it up. So then the end result was me not saying anything. I don't make that mistake anymore, but that's what it was like at the time. So, and in my depressive state with no friends, I ended up taking a walk. I walked to my high school, like about 30 minutes, and I walked down to this place called Rocky Point, where the ice cream shop usually is. Needless to say, it was closed because by the time I got there, it was 7 a.m. And like, you know, it was like cloudy as heck that day. There was no sun. The ice cream shop didn't open until 10 a.m. And I ended up like watching on my phone. I was using my phone data. I was watching Professor this video where it was like it was titled UCM Professor Accuses Class of Cheating. And then I watched it. I was using it. It was a pretty funny video, but like I was watching it on my phone using up data. And eventually I was like, because I used up significant amount of data earlier in that month. And like it ended up saying, you have exceeded $50 worth of data on your phone. We have to stop you from using data. And yeah, that was the end of it. So then I was like, oh crap, let's just go home. So then I walked on home. And then I walked on home, and then it was like about 7:30, 8 a.m. And then I had McDonald's for breakfast. I had a hash brown and a strawberry fruit smoothie for breakfast. Again, I don't remember the price. I'm sorry. And then I headed on home and then went to sleep. When I got up, it was 3 p.m. Yeah, that's me, lazy boy, right here. 3 p.m. And then, yeah, I was like, I don't even remember what I did that day. And then I was playing a few games and such, and then it was 6 p.m. I was like, okay, for dinner, I want to get pizza from Pizza Factory. So I called their phone number, and I originally said, I want a pizza with mushrooms and ham. And could you deliver it over to my place? And they said, sure, but it will be $16.55. Whereas if you come to get it, it will be $6.55. And I was like, huh, it's within walking distance. I'm like, hey, you know what? Can you get their pizza ready for me at 6:45 p.m.? And then when I made the phone call, it was about 6 p.m. Yeah. And then, so then I like at the time, so then I transited. So while I was waiting for my pizza, I transited to Walmart because my Wii batteries were running low. So then I went there and purchased some batteries. I think I purchased something else, but I'm not sure. It was still cloudy at 6 p.m. And then I went back to Pizza Factory, got my pizza, went home. That night, my parents called me from, I think they were staying in Arizona. Yeah. And then they were calling from Arizona, and I was playing Mario Bros when they called. And like, you know, they're like, hey, Brent, we've been calling you for a while, but like, you know, you weren't picking up your phone. I'm like, oh, well, that generally when I don't pick up the phone, it means I left the house. And we chatted, and it was a nice chat and such. So yeah, I slept really late that night, again, as usual. I don't remember what time I woke up on the 23rd. But yeah, and then nothing happened that day. Like I was like, I skipped breakfast and lunch, play games, and then I was like, hey, I want to see what it's like to be in a casino, like because like I was bored out of my mind, so I wanted to see what it would be like to go to a casino. And then there was this one casino I knew, I think it was called Hard Rock Casino, that was like about a 50-minute transit time from my place. So then I took the transit station to there. I literally didn't know what the hell I was doing, so I remember was I used $5 to buy a bunch of tickets, and then I left the casino with $20. And then I had to get help from a dude to help me get it because I didn't know the rules of like casino and such. So yeah, I ended up getting it. And yeah. Then yeah, then it was the 24th, and it was that day was a sunny day. Um, I remember that my church group, Henry, Rudy, and them were all scheduled to watch Spider-Man that night at 8 p.m. I finished work at 7:30, but because I wasn't very familiar, like I've been to their house a few times by transit, but not very often. I wasn't able to exactly um recall like where their place was. And then Henry was texting me saying, "Hey, are you here? Like the movie's like halfway done." And I'm like, "Oh, I lost track of where to go." And then he said, "Okay, just come on over." But eventually, like I completely forgot. And he's like, "Yeah, it's almost over. Hope you can head on home safely." But then I ended up at a place at Surrey Central after all my confusion and such. And I took a look into one of the bars and they were having a party and I saw Rudy there. And then I went in and it was like, hey, anyone could come in and such. And then where they were just listening to music and having a good time. And I'm like, so I joined there. Yeah. Then after the party was over, I took the transit and the bus home, and um, it was 1 a.m. at that time, and I probably fell asleep. Yeah. Then, like at on the 25th, it was I remember nothing before 11:30 a.m. because I was probably sleeping. And then on that day, on the 24th, I wrote, no, not I wrote, my friend Jacob invited me to go to his house. He's like, hey, do you want to hang out? You and me for a while, or do you want to play with some of my church groups called Blue Mountain Church, where we play Black Ops and such? And I'm like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna show up to your house at 6:45, 10 to 15 minutes earlier before those Black Op guys. And then Thursday the 25th was a sunny day, and then he gave me his address, and then I went there, and then we went and I got a hot fudge sundae with him at McDonald's, which was really close to his house. And then they ended up playing. I knew a few people. Yeah, it's where I met his whole gang of people. Then yeah, all I remember was I ended up getting one kill. We without After the party was done, me and Jacob took a walk along the night sky. And then we talked about life and such, and it was a good time. And he prayed for me. I prayed for him. It was good. On the way home, I stopped by Denny's and purchased a chocolate milkshake and some nacho chips as a takeout. Yeah, and then I headed on home. On the 26th, yeah, okay, so no, I remember. I also remember this. And then he's like, my friends Todd and Mira are showing up to this beach party tomorrow called a place called White Pine Beach at like 9 a.m. tomorrow. And he's like, I know you've been sleeping quite late the last few days, but please do not sleep late. I want you to be energized and such. He's like, and then he told me specifically before leaving, he's like, do not sleep any later than 2:30 in the morning, please. And then I'm like, yeah, okay. So then I was like, but I really don't feel like sleeping. So from what I remember, I ended up staying awake the entire night. Then I woke up and it was like then it was at like 5:20. I left the house. And then it was a sunny day on the 26th. And then I showed it. I got on the bus, and then at around 6:30, the sun started to rise, and I was at White Pine Beach. I was literally the only person there. And then I sent a message to Jacob saying, first person to arrive at White Pine Beach. And then I sent him these pictures and such. And then at 7:20, we chatted in my parents saying like, hey mom, hey dad, I'm heading off to Jacob's party at 9 o'clock. And then my mom was like really happy she did a voice messaged with me, and she's like, "Hey, son, you got up really early." It was 7:21, and it was like she said, "I'm so proud of you." And then like she's like, "Oh, you're hanging out with Jacob. That's so good," and such. And then like at around 8:50, Jacob sent me the message, replied to my message, and he's like, "What the F? LOL." Because he's like, and then at around 9, like I started getting really tired. So I went to the bathroom and fell asleep. Someone must have called security. They thought I passed out or something. But I was like, no, I was just sleeping. I didn't get much sleep um the last night. And then eventually I saw Todd and Mira. I don't know what Mira's face looks like. I still don't, because she had sunglasses on that day. And then she was singing, and then she was showing us a song by Florida Georgia Line called Cruise. I remember that song. I was like, "Baby, you're a song, you make me want to roll my windows down and cruise." Yeah, and then we had a really good time that day. I don't remember much. Um, Jacob ended up telling his friends about me sleeping, uh, me not sleeping and making it to this event, and they had a good laugh out of it. Then when they left, when the party was over, it was about 3 p.m. But I didn't exactly remember how to get home, so I just took the bus to a certain SkyTrain station, and took the bus and then headed on home. And by the time I got home, I was so dizzy. It was 5 p.m. And then I fell asleep. And then when I woke up, it was 8 p.m. I What else did I do? I think I must have watched The Disastrous Life of Psyche K all these days when I said I was playing games and such. I must have watched The Disastrous Life of Psyche K. It's an anime show. It's on Netflix. For those of you who don't know it, go watch it. It's really good. And then yeah, and I think I stayed up until 5 p.m. Then on the 27th, I had to call in sick for work because like I was just groggy as hell. And then I woke up at 2 p.m. 2:19 p.m. to be precise. The 27th was a sunny day. Played games throughout. All I remember about the 27th was that night I went to McDonald's myself to get a hot fudge sundae, and then I headed back home. I did some stuff, then I went to sleep at 5 a.m. on Sunday, April 28th, 2019. I woke up 12 hours later at 5 p.m. on April 28th, and it was a sunny day that day. And I was supposed to have sports night at 7 p.m. that day, but I was too groggy and I was like, I had no energy and I didn't do anything. I remember I played some Plants vs. Zombies and I fed my Zen garden, my marigold plants. And yeah, my parents came home on the night of the 28th at 11:32 p.m. Yeah, and then I welcomed them with open arms and such. And I showed them my grades, which I got from the 23rd, which I got a A in math, A in linear algebra. I got a B in statistics. I got a C plus in economics, calculus economics, and I got a, let me think, and I got a B plus in accounting, a managerial accounting. And yeah, and then on the 29th, I texted a girl named Alina from my accounting class. And then I said, "Hey, do you want to hang out with me at New Westminster on Tuesday, the 30th, where we could just go do some stuff?" And then she was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And yeah, and then that was cool. She said she got a B in accounting and said the class was curved, and I said I got a B plus, and yeah. Then around 4 p.m., I visited my two of my very good friends, Tiomir and Tenzin. And we were at the Rocky Point. We hung out at the Rocky Point area. We took a walk around, and then it was a sunny day on the 29th. And yeah, and at 8:35, we even wrote, used a stick to write on the beach saying, we love each other and such, man love. And yeah, and then on the, yeah, and then on April 30th, I hung out with my friend Alina at 3 p.m. And then I remember we played a lot of arcade games. I even showed her a Plants vs. Zombies mini game on the arcades. We got prizes and such, and it was really good. We played for about 2 hours. And then at 6 p.m., she sent me a message saying, I had fun hanging out with you. Let's do it again. Yeah. And then on whatchamacallit, um that night I ended up watching Forensic Files. No, not Forensic. I went to Netflix and watched a show really similar to Forensic Files called Real Life Detectives, where what happened was the in Real Life Detectives, it was like a real life, animated real life, not animated. It was like a real life criminal event translated into a story that was like acted and such. And it was really cool. I was watching this one where this officer named James Duckett, he's a really bad guy. He raped and killed 2 little girls. And I thought, what a rotten person. Um, on May 1st, 2019, my friend Jacob told me that his church, this Blue Mountain Church, was going to Anvil Island from Friday to Sunday. And then he sent me a picture of the to-do, what they were going to do. They apparently on Friday, they were going to like settle down, get into their cabins and such. On Saturday, they said they were going to have an 80s party. And then on, and I this isn't the full list. This is what I remember from the list he sent me. And on Sunday, he said, like this, have breakfast. And he said, pack up this Bible study. And then he said, followed by going home and napping, period. Hard, period. And then I was like, yeah, I'm down. I'm going to go. And I paid $100 for the admission fee. And yeah, that was good. Then because my parents were home, I couldn't follow my usual sleep schedule. So I went to bed at 12. I think for whatever reason on May 2nd, I woke up at 2:58 a.m. and I played, and I was like, ended up playing Mario Kart. And I played the 100cc version of Mario Kart, 32 races, and I posed as Bowser with the username Bugs Meanie. And for I used the Bowser bike, and I got fifth, and I got like first place for the first 9 races. And then the results kind of varied, but I ended up with a total score of 415 out of a possible 480 and ended up in first place. It must have been about 5 a.m. and then I headed on back to sleep. On Thursday, my mom woke me up at noon and she said, get up, sleepyhead, you've been sleeping all day. And then I was like, oh, okay. And went to have lunch and such. I don't remember what happened for the rest of May 2nd, other than May 2nd was a sunny day. And then on Friday, May 3rd, my mom was like, it was 10 a.m. when my mom woke me up, and then I got up. Yeah, and then I don't remember what happened beforehand, but at around 6 p.m., I headed down to the church, the Blue Mountain Church, where we were supposed to gather. I remember meeting this girl, Bethany, and then she wanted to introduce me to everyone. Yeah, and that was cool. She's like, I'm just introducing Brent to everyone and such. Yeah. And then we took the bus to Anvil Island. And then we got there, put our stuff out on the cab. Oh, I remember while on the ferry ride, like, so we bussed partway, then went on, took a ferry to Anvil Island, took a boat ride. And then when we got there, yeah, like a few of the people were asking me things like, so Brent, did you manage to get everything? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, they were like, you managed to fit an entire like sleeping bag and your pillows, your sleeping stuff in one bag like this? And I'm like, yep. And they were like, wow. And then we got there to Anvil Island. We had a good time and such. We did a few prayer or two before it was lights out and everyone went to bed. Um, and then upon going to bed, I had to reveal the embarrassment. I opened up my sleeping bag, and then like all I got was my sleep. Yeah, all I got was my sleeping bag. And they're like, oh, I knew there was something off. No, you were supposed to bring a pillow too. So a few people were laughing. Yeah, I know it was embarrassing. And then the pastor, his name was Brad, heard about this. He's like, oh, hey, you can have my pillow. And I thanked him a lot for that. And then it made sleeping a lot easier that night. On May 4th, in the middle of the night, I woke up with an excruciating pain. I suffered from a leg cramp at the calf of my leg, and it woke a few people up. Yeah. Then on May 4th, it was a sunny day. We played volleyball. We gathered around. We had a good time. I don't remember what we had for breakfast. Must have been eggs and bacon and something else. I forget. I don't remember what we had for lunch. And then we did a bunch of activities. I think we hiked a little bit too. And then at around 4 p.m., I was like, hey, I'm gonna volunteer to cook some supper. So I headed to the kitchen, I did some prep work and such with someone else. And when I was done doing prep work, I met this guy named Ryan, who said to me, hey, Brent, you want to play Love Letter? And like he said, Love Letter was a game for 2 to 4 players. It wasn't the expansion pack. I know the expansion pack allows you to play with more than 4 players. And we played Love Letter together. And eventually a guy named Tobin came, and I asked, is your name spelled Toben? And he said, no, it's Tobin. And then we played, and then like Ryan and him agreed that, yeah, 3 players is the optimal amount of players for this game. And then we played, he said there's some strategy where it's like you could use the priest to look at someone's card, and if they have a princess, then it's perfect. And then your next round, you use the guard to guess that they have a princess. And that was a cool thing. A little while later, Tobin had to leave, so a girl named Shanna took his place. And then Ryan, at one point in the game, Ryan was out, and he said, hey, Brent, can I see your cards for a second? And then he sees I have a priest and a countess. And then he's like, oh, by the way, I just wanted you to know your actions make no sense. And he laughed. And I was a newbie, so I didn't know what he was doing. Eventually, we had to clear up, and it was dinner time. Yeah. After dinner, we did some more activities, and then we started heading out back to bed. And before we slept, I showed my friend Jacob a try not to laugh video clip I found. It was this clip that was from Adventure Time, that it featured a woman saying, what would you do if there was a child right in front of you? And then Finn was like, hey kids, and comes over, grabs one of the kids and kicks them out. And then Jacob was laughing really hard. He was like, like that, like his face is exactly the way I'm demonstrating it now. And then yeah, after that it followed to be May 7th, May 5th on Sunday. And then yeah, after having breakfast and our prayers and cleaning up, we left. It was about 1 o'clock when everyone separated. I went to a place called Sushi Keris for lunch. Um, I went to this particular place because I remember back in 2017, I used to go to a place really close to Sushi Keris to study for my English 12 provincial exam. Like I would take practice lessons there, and Sushi Keris was right beneath it. So I'm like, I felt a little bit of nostalgia, so I went back to eat it. Sadly, I couldn't leave a tip for the waitress. She seemed a little sad, and I couldn't because I had to pay for my bus fare to get back because I left my Compass card at home. So I got back around 3 o'clock. And yeah, that was about it for the day. My mom that night announced to me that she was going on a business trip to Toronto for a week. And yeah, and she said, okay, so since you did well last semester, we're going to allow you to take just 2 courses for the summer so you can relax and have a bit more fun and such. So yeah. Now, heading on, the rest is the actual start of the semester. And on Monday, May 6th, 2019, it was a sunny day. And I had a computer class from 8:30 to, sorry, 9:30 to 10:30. So like, no, let me just tell you my schedule right now. So when I saw my schedule, I was really surprised. Apparently, I thought there would be more days where I would have no classes at all, but I only had Tuesday where I didn't have any classes. So on Monday, I had class from, here's what my weekly schedule was like. On Monday, I had class from 9:30 to 10:30. Then I had a 2-hour break, and then I had class from 12:30 to 1:30. On Tuesday, I didn't have class. On Wednesday and Friday, it was the same as Monday. And on Thursday, I only had one math tutorial from 9:30 to 10:30. Yeah, yeah. So then on Monday, May 6th, I showed up to my class. And then my professor said she was teaching Python for my computer class. Python was very easy and it was very easy to understand. Then I had my ordinary differential equations class for my math class. And my professor on that very first day talked about how differential equations were just equations where like the equation where the solution was a function or something. And yeah, and then at around 2 o'clock, my friend Henry sent me a message saying, hey, bro, you can show up at 4 p.m. today so we could watch a basketball game with a few people. And I told my dad, he's like, yeah, sure, no problem. So then at 3 o'clock, I left the campus to go to this event. And then I made it at 4. And then we watched the game. When I left, it was about 6:30. And I took the bus back to my house. Yeah. Then on Tuesday, May 7th, I took the 15-minute transit to my old school to sing. I like basically like because like let me explain here. Like back then I didn't really know that I could attach the singing. You see me doing covers on YouTube right now. Back then I didn't know how to do that and how to post those videos and such. So that like going there, seemed really time inefficient, but that was the best alternative that I had. So then I commuted to an isolated basketball area on May 7th to sing. And, you know, I met up with one of the vice principals and he was really happy to see me. And then he's like, hey, yeah, sing all you want. You know, as long as you're not disturbing us, you're fine. And it was a sunny day on Tuesday. And then I remember when I was done singing and then I was like waiting for the bus back to go to my university, my friend, this girl, Alina from last Tuesday was texting me saying, how did your first day of classes go? I wondered if we had the same class, any classes together. And I was like, yeah, well, the first day, nothing is interesting. And then she's like, LOL, did you not show up to the first day of classes? And I'm like, no, I just said like, there's not much that happens and such. And then we talked for a while and we ended up agreeing to meet each other on Friday, May 10th at 1:30 and such. Then on that night, I had trouble falling asleep on the night of May 7th. And I stayed up until 2:20 and I saw my friend Rudy was still active. And so I wrote a message saying, hi, Rudy, but he didn't reply. And a few seconds later, I fell asleep. On Wednesday, May 8th, I woke up around 9. I felt relatively energetic. And then I showed up to the computer lab and on campus, and my friend Rudy texted me saying, hey, Brent, at 10:25 a.m. And then I was like, I told him, I said hi because I saw you were up late last night. And I was wanting to know why you were up late. And then he said, oh, I just stay up late sometimes. Why were you up late? And then I wrote, I don't even know. And then he wrote, LOL, okay. So I had my classes, did some stuff. I don't remember much during that day. So yeah, what happened on May 9th? Oh, on Thursday, May 9th, there was no tutorial because it was the first week of classes. Usually on the first week of classes, there's no tutorials. At least for my university. I don't know how it is for medical school, but yeah. May 9th was probably a sunny day though, yeah. Then, yeah, on May 9th, I think I agreed to meet up with Jacob we agreed together to meet up at 10:30 on the May 10th. And then we met and then I did something like I did a try not to laugh challenge with him, and I sent try not to laughs. I showed him Markiplier's try not to laugh challenges, number 13, number 15, and number 4 in that exact order. And May 10th was a sunny day too, just for the record, yeah. And then he saw those videos. I remember he laughed a lot, and I actually did better than he did. And he laughed I remember he laughed at the one of them where this guy named Alex Jones was like, I don't like him putting chemicals in the water. I turned the frickin' frogs gay. And he even asked me to repeat that one. And and he laughed a lot. Yeah. And then at 1:30, I hung out with Alina. Yeah. 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 Okay. So then my mom came home that night. Yeah, I don't remember what happened for the rest of the day. On May 11th, I remember that I went to my church's events. They were going to a nursing home apparently to help old people learn how to use tablets and such. And I was there with a few people. Yeah. And yeah, that was about it. Yeah, I remember it was still slightly sunny. It was like at dusk at 9 p.m. that day. That's about it. I don't remember anything on May 12th. On Monday, May 13th, 2019, it was a sunny day. I ended up sleeping in and missing my computer class. Don't skip class, guys. Seriously. Don't learn from me. Then unless it's for math, which you can count on this guy. Anyways, and then I was like, okay, so my parents had installed this thing called Ring, where it detects you when someone approaches and leaves the house. So then I left through the back door because I couldn't leave through the front door, or else it would detect me, like, it would detect me like leaving at around noon, and then they would know that I missed class. Then I approached I left through the back door. I couldn't lock the door. Yeah. When I got back, my dad was like, don't do that. Like, don't not lock the back door. And yeah. That night, I stayed up quite late. I think I fell asleep at around 5 or 6. On Tuesday the 14th, I left for campus. I remember it was still it was a rainy day on the 14th, and it was a relatively I felt relatively energetic after only having 3 hours of sleep for whatever reason. And I woke up, went to campus, and I got quite a bit of sleep there. And yeah, I don't remember what happened, anything that happened on the 14th, 15th, or 16th afterwards. So let's cut to the 17th. On May 17th, I met up with Alina and one of her friends at 1:30, and we had lunch together. And then, yeah. And on May 18th, I remember I went to a church event. I can't remember which event, but my friend Brandon was there. Yeah, it was a sunny day on the 8th, 17th, and 18th. On Sunday, May 19th, my mom asked me if I could cut the grass because her grass was growing big. And I'm like, no, I have sports night tonight. So I ended up going to sports night. On sports night, I remember we were playing basketball and I was too slow to pass the ball to one of my teammates. And this girl named Samantha came over and stole the ball from me. I should have been more quicker. I'm not very good at basketball, guys. But I just play for the fun. Yeah, it was, yeah. And then I cut the grass on Victoria Day and I made this song called Love Letter that I made myself and I played it on the piano. It was a sunny day on the 20th and I recorded it. I set the phone beside it, leaning on something, and then I recorded myself playing piano. Yeah. On the 21st, I had to help my grandma with her move in. And it was like almost a half day thing. And we were done at around 2 o'clock. I got some pizza at a place called Viva la Pizza. And yeah, yeah. On the 23rd, I realized that I was late for my school computer class again. And I couldn't leave through the back door for some reason. So I did something that I will never do again. I asked the basement, one of our tenants, to let me through his door. So yeah, and that guy was pretty cool with it, honestly. Um on Thursday, May 20th, no, on the May 22nd, I also rearranged to have my driver's road test on Thursday, August 22nd at 1 p.m. Yeah. On May 23rd, oh, yeah, okay, I remember what happened on May 23rd. I accidentally slept through my math tutorial and didn't even make it to campus. I was home the entire day. It was a sunny day on the 23rd. And then yeah, at around 3 p.m., I texted my friend Alina, and she told me her birthday was the next day. Yeah. On the 24th, actually, you know what? I'm getting kind of tired. Let's cut it here, and I'll come back very soon. Yeah. Stay tuned for part 2. I don't know why you would watch this, honestly, though.